Have you ever been in a conversation with someone and they just kind of like sit there a lot and they just look at you and you're like thinking like, yeah, it's your turn to speak? What's up, everybody? It is your girl here, GenuinelyDivine, coming at you today with a video all about Mercury in the zodiac sign of Cancer. If you're new to the channel, please remember to subscribe to the channel. Also turn on the notification bell so that you will never ever miss an upload from me. As you saw in the title, you guys, we are talking about the planet Mercury in the zodiac sign of Cancer. Mercury in Greek mythology is the messengers of the gods. Mercury is the planet of communication. It is the planet of intellect, planet of methodical techniques. It is the planet of logic and reasoning. It is naturally ruled by the moon. So a lot of times Cancer people is all about home and family, the immediate family, and also the mother. So they're very nurturing type people. So what happens when Mercury comes into the zodiac sign of Cancer? Mercury and Cancer type people, they're very nurturing when they speak. They usually talk to you in a way that they are trying to nurture you to become better or to grow. So a lot of times Mercury and Cancer type people, they will always act as if they are giving you advice as a mother or a father. And Cancer type people can be very hesitant speakers, which means that they hesitate a lot, because a lot of times Mercury and Cancer type people are extremely intuitive. So a lot of times they're not communicating just based on what you're saying in the conversation. They are communicating from what they're feeling inside of themselves that you really want to say to them, which makes it very difficult for Mercury and Cancer type people to translate their thoughts into a verbalization. Now, if feelings and thoughts were expressed considerately, then Cancers would be the best communicators in the whole wide world, but unfortunately that's impossible. Mercury and Cancer people have a very difficult time being open. So a lot of times Mercury and Cancer type people come off as being not friendly, shy, or reserved. Mercury and Cancer type people can communicate in a very emotional type way. You ever get in a conversation with a person who can cry very easily? They probably have Mercury in the sign of Cancer. Mercury in Cancer type people definitely need to be very comfortable with you before you can get a somewhat type decent conversation out of them. Mercury in Cancer type people tend to get extremely nervous in large crowds or around certain types of people, and they can just really become very intense. Their nervous nature can become really intense. So if you ever around a person that gets really nervous, or they start saying these weird things that's like, why are you saying that? When they get around certain type of people, then they're probably a Mercury and Cancer type person. They get extremely nervous because remember, they have to be comfortable. They're all about the home, and that's where they feel the safest. Their ruling symbol is the crab, so a lot of times they kind of like hide away in their shells or whatever. So they don't really like to be open, you know, so they don't openly express themselves to strangers. A lot of times they definitely have to warm up to you and know that they can be comfortable with you before they can start communicating with you, okay? So Mercury and Cancer type people, one thing you do have to work on is just to realize that, you know, you don't have to communicate with people that you don't want to communicate with. Well, I'm sorry, sometimes you do have to communicate with people that you don't want to communicate with. So you have to learn a very good way to communicate with people without having to cry or without having to feel so nervous about it. Think about it. Why do you get so nervous? Like, who is this person that you're talking to? And why do they intimidate you, or why do you feel intimidated when you're talking to people? And once you discover why, then you need to start working on that so that you can start having better conversations. I feel like Mercury and Cancer type people, sometimes they miss out on a lot of opportunities because they are so afraid of expressing themselves, you know, in communication. So a lot of times they just stay quiet and don't really say. First of all, Cancer is a water sign, which means that they can be very emotional as well as very intuitive, but your intuition sometimes can lead you astray. But who's to say if you don't really communicate with a person to truly find out what is what? So I do feel that Mercury and Cancer type people, you know, you need to start really listening to people, what they're really saying to you. I feel like because you guys are intuitive, a lot of times when people are communicating with you, you're not taking their words or value. You're actually interpreting whatever they're saying in an intuitive type way. And sometimes you get things kind of like screwed up or all crossed up because this is not what this person is saying to you. And then you can concoct these ideas or these logics in your mind that's not necessarily true. So my only bit of advice that I guess I can give to you, Mercury and Cancer, is to take people's word at word value. If someone's telling you something, kind of like take it and just go with it. Even if you intuitively feel this is not what they truly mean, you just gotta go with it because obviously this is what they mean in that moment because they said it to you, okay? Now, Mercury and Cancer on the dark side, they can be a tad bit illogical. They can have fears of communication as well as feelings of depression. So you guys definitely have to kind of like, you know, work on whatever it is that bothers you when it comes to dealing with people outside of the home. You have to find out what bothers you when you're communicating. You know, what is it? And you definitely have to work on that. Sometimes you can just stand in the mirror and just kind of like have a conversation with yourself, and you know, because you have to prepare yourself, you know, for when you're out in the real world dealing with people that's not family. Okay? That's all I have for Mercury in the zodiac sign of Cancer. Until the next time, you guys, I wish you so much love, peace, and so many wonderful blessings. Bye.
Push your